This is a cool setup you got
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. This is kind of like what you have set up at your house when you do your.
Kinda, sorta,
Is it?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, good morning. We are back in the studio, day 3 of Creekside Gospel Music Convention. And in here today on the couch, not with Fouch, but with Tonja, yeah, is my label mate and friend, Mr. Billy Walker. Yay!
Did you get that clap track done yet?
I did.
Did you?
Let me tell you what happened.
Uh-oh.
And people that are watching have heard this, but I'm going to tell you, and they're going to hear it again. I downloaded, or did you watch it? Did you see what I saw?
Angela's been watching it.
Okay. So I downloaded this app for applause.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like for y'all to have some applause.
Yeah.
And I was interviewing the Hagers the other night, and I said, y'all make welcome to the couch, the Hagers. I didn't have my glasses on, and I hit this button. I said, oh, whoa! So I hit it thinking it would make it stop, and it did it again. And I was like, y'all, I am so sorry. That was not on purpose. And I wanted to climb under that table. So, welcome to the couch in the studio, Billy Walker.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and all the
Great
ladies,
to be here.
and all the ladies would go.
Don't get jealous, Angela.
She knows
You
I
knew
love
what
you.
you signed up for.
She knows I love you. And so how have you been?
I've been doing pretty good.
Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Been busy.
Yeah.
Running the roads.
You were in studio last week
I was
working
in the
on
studio
something.
last week with John, and I'm getting ready for my next upcoming song. I'm kind of doing a little bit like you, just kind of doing song at a time, kind of taking time with it, making sure you get it done right. And after you get 7, 8, 9 done, then we'll compile it onto a record.
Yep, put it on this. We did. We added it up the other day during COVID. We did 52 songs.
52
That's
songs.
including Christmas and everything, and some songs from last.
Well, now Johnny is really excited about that Christmas song.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Christmas song.
Yeah.
So, did he play it for you?
He did.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Do you have Christmas? Are you gonna do anything? I mean, I know it's kind of late now, but maybe next year.
Everybody that knows me, I'm not a Scrooge, but everybody knows I don't like Christmas music.
You're gonna have to leave right now.
We love.
That's my favorite. I put my
Is
Christmas
it?
tree up before Thanksgiving.
But now I tell you what, the last couple of years, as an artist, as the holidays come in, things slow down.
Yeah.
And
Well, from that aspect, yeah.
you kind of go into hunker down and just survive mode.
Yeah.
And for years, my family had talked about we need to do a Christmas program, and so we'd always talk about it, and we'd never do it.
Yeah.
May, June, that's when you need to get some tracks, and you need to, because
Yeah.
Christmas songs you only sing them once.
I know.
You can't. It's not like you can just remember it.
Yeah.
And so a couple of years ago, I had a lady in the month of June from a church in Tallahassee contact me, and said, "Do you guys do Christmas concerts?" Now we ain't never done a Christmas concert. We don't know a Christmas song. And when she told me, "Well, we would like for you to come in and do this, and we'll pay you this," I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, we do Christmas concerts."
Y'all, we're fixing to learn some Christmas songs.
That's sure enough what happened. And so we started learning them, and really we're the walkers. We don't run. We don't get nowhere in a hurry.
Yeah.
We procrastinate. And 2 weeks before, we finished the songs that we were going to do, and we got to learning them, and we basically was learning them as we were singing them. But, it made December a whole lot better.
Yeah.
And so since then, I've learned, hey, I'm liking Christmas songs more and more and more. So, because I like to eat in December too.
Yeah. Those lights have to stay on in December.
They do. Duke Energy, just because I sing gospel music, they don't say, "Hey, we're going to let you have the lights for free."
Isn't that the truth?
I tell people salvation is free. That is true, but the tool that carries that gospel costs money.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. I was talking to the Epps family earlier, and how can I say this? It's obviously a ministry.
Yeah.
What we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to make sense.
Right.
We do have to get from place to place, and we do have to eat, and we do have to stay overnight sometimes. And in most cases, we make enough just to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. It's a ministry, but none of us are getting rich. Our riches are going to be later on down the road.
Yep.
When we're up there.
I know.
So
if people are all the time like, you know, why do you do this? You know, and it's because you want to see people impact.
yeah,
You want to see
absolutely.
lives changed.
Absolutely.
And you know,
It's not show business, it's God's business.
that's it. You know, if we wanted that, we'd sing a different type of
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how does it feel to not have bookends when you're up there?
Well, you know, I am into it now. About what is this, October?
Not that your mom is a bookend, but you know what I
I know,
mean. I'm
yeah.
just the analogy.
Well, I tell people I sang in a group all my life, and I like to have other stooges up there with
I
me.
know.
You know?
It's like a airbag. I mean, what's that? A safety net. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to think
yeah,
of. A safety net.
Yeah, and because you know, as a soloist, when you're having an off night or a few little vocal problems, or that one in a million time where you run into an audience where they're just
Preach it. Yeah.
like they've been sucking on sour pickles. You know, it's like at least when you got other people with you, you can like.
Yeah, you can turn to each other
Yeah,
for that smile.
But you know, when it's just you yourself, it's like.
I know, Lord,
You know,
deliver me.
It's like.
Have you ever met the Dodrells? The Dodrell family?
I haven't.
Okay, so they're amazing. They're so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was interviewing the mama one time, and she said something like that. She said, she said, we go to these places, and we're just trying to share the love of Christ, and we got people out there going. She said, but then those people come up to me afterwards and go, you just blessed my heart.
Yeah.
She said she wanted to look at him and say, well, you might want to tell your face.
That's
Because
yeah.
we're up there dying because
Yeah.
you look like you are the most miserable person
Yeah.
on the planet.
You're up there thinking, man, I am killing these people.
I
here."
know. What am
You
I
know?
doing wrong?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
And it is amazing, you know, those that just sit there and look at you, they're the ones that knock you down trying to get to your
I
merchandise
know.
table.
Let me turn
You know,
this
to
way.
tell you, that was great.
Yeah.
Like I said, well, tell your face.
You could have blown me over with a feather for you
That's
tell,
it.
you know. But, you know,
That's it.
we never, there are people out there that love God but do not feel comfortable expressing that in a public situation.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's the case, you
Yeah.
know. Or they're so focused on the lyrics of the songs or whatever that, and you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
You know, so.
Right. You know, everybody has problems. Everybody has issues.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sometimes the worst at, you know, showing grace. My wife always says, you know, you got to give a little bit of grace, you
Yeah.
know. But that is true.
Do you mean Charles Rose?
Well,
Charles Edward Rose? He has trouble doing that
Does he
sometimes
really?
too. But, you know,
No.
takes all different kinds of people,
does.
doesn't it?
You know, my sister, she always thought this would be a cool thing. You know how groups have backdrops behind them? She said, you know what would be awesome? She goes, I would love to have about a 15-foot mirror behind me so these people could see what I'm looking at. all night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, that's a great idea.
That is a good idea. I just don't know how I would transport
I
a
know.
15-foot mirror
And
without
that's
breaking.
true.
And Lord knows, sometimes I have bad luck enough. I don't want to.
You
I
don't
don't
want
want to chance
You don't
it.
want to crack 15
No,
feet of
no,
glass.
Lord no. I mean, you know how it is when you break a little mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, it just cascades down on you. If I broke a 15-foot one,
Oh, bless you. You shut down the interstate.
I would. Yeah. I mean, it'd be just like, Lord, just go ahead and take me home right now. Get me on out of here.
Well, I heard you
So-
singing earlier and you sounded great. You
Well, I
sounded
appreciate it.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got some power. Got a little bit of power.
Well, you know, people have been telling me, you know, when you sing in a group, you have to kind of, you know, you got to blend.
Yeah.
You got to mix. You've
Yeah.
kind of got to meld yourself with other
Yeah.
people. And so, you know, you don't really have those opportunities, you know, a lot of times.
Right.
And I've had so many people since I've been on my own that have come up to me and they're like, man, this is like the first time I've
Yeah.
really heard you.
Well, yeah.
And we're still going to do some family dates
Yeah.
starting next year. And we were practicing just a little bit on my last time at home. And Mom told my wife, she goes, wow. She goes, Billy's gotten good.
Thanks, Mom.
I'm like, appreciate appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Mom.
Yeah.
But, well, she's right.
So,
She's right. You're a great vocalist,
Well, I
great
appreciate
guy all around.
and I'm fixing to put you on the spot.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, yeah. Now I heard that song that you and Lance wrote,
Oh goodness.
and it's a fantastic song.
Thank you.
And I told my wife, I said, I'm gonna tell you what, Tonja's gonna write a song with me.
We can do it. We can do it. We'll write one
I
together.
think we should, you know.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
He just, he wanted to express where he was and where he is now, and we
Yeah.
just played off of that. So
Yeah. It was a great song, though.
thank you,
enjoyed it.
thank you. Well, tell these folks where they can find. Have I already asked that? I've asked so
No,
many questions
you
these
haven't.
last 3 days. I don't. What's your name again?
Um,
Billy Walker.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to think of it
Yeah.
myself.
Billy and I are on the same label. For if you just tuning in, we're both on Mansion. Oh, Yantina says, "Hey Billy, hi Billy, another great singer."
Well, thank
And
you, Jan Tina.
Dale Gilmer says, "Hello everyone, hello Dale."
Have
Hello.
you been interviewed by Jan Tina?
I have.
She does a great interview.
She does.
I mean,
and she's the female Netherland version of Greg Sullivan. She
is a cheerleader.
cheerleader,
Yeah.
roots for all
we,
of us.
we talk to Jan Tina all the time, and I tell you what, she asks some of the best
She does.
questions.
She
but
does.
what I like about Jan Tina is you've been interviewed countless times.
Mhm.
I've been interviewed countless times, and you kind of expect and know what they're going to ask.
Right.
And so you kind of got your answers, you got your answers of what you're going to say. Sometimes it's different because of the mood. I mean, you got your standard answers to your standard questions. Well, she will ask a question, she'll kind of be going down that path, and then all of a sudden she'll just ask a,
Out of no, yeah.
yeah,
And you have to stop and
yeah. I mean, one of the interviews that I was doing with her, she's asking the questions, and then all of a sudden she goes, "Well, tell me something on your bucket list," and I was like, wait a minute, what? And so I had to think about it for a second. I was like, to take a vacation.
Yeah.
To take a vacation. And
Yeah.
one of these days, I'm going to do
You're
that.
gonna do that.
And
all
my
this-
wife would greatly appreciate
All
that.
this traveling we did, and a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, "Oh, you're so lucky you get to travel all over."
You get to see
We
all this stuff.
never.
I
we
see
go
the interstate.
we go from one venue to the next, and really that's about it. Because you're always running and gunning to get to where you're going. Then you got to set up. Then you
Yeah.
got to sound check. Then you got to do the service. Then you got to break down. And you sometimes you don't get a chance to eat either,
Yeah.
unless it's through a drive-through.
Yeah.
So,
Of course, not. That's okay with me. I'm a fast food junkie.
but see, you can handle it.
Well,
I'm not. Well, let's just move on. So, I was gonna say, So I've been asking everyone a funny question or a serious question, but I'm gonna ask you a serious question.
okay.
Because I know that you have a wonderful support system with Angela, and you have a son that has autism.
Yep.
At the end of your life, what would you want someone to say at your eulogy? And I'm being serious. Let me.
I ain't
I'm
never
gonna.
thought about that.
And we'll give you a second to think about it. Okay.
All right.
When my granddaddy Burl died, my dad preached at his. Well, he didn't preach, but he spoke at his funeral. Back then they called them funerals. Now they call them memorial
Yeah.
celebrations or whatever. And the one thing that my granddaddy wanted was for somebody to give an altar call.
Yeah.
And so my dad did that. And to me, that spoke volumes about who he was.
Yeah.
So you, as a father and a husband in a ministry, what's the one thing you would hope somebody would say at your funeral or going home celebration?
That I left a good-looking corpse. No.
He looks so good.
He looks
looks
better
so-
dead than he did alive.
He looks so natural.
Nah, I'm playing.
I know you are.
Lord, that I think that's one of the best questions I've ever been asked right there. I really give me 1 second.
Yeah,
'Cause
take your time.
I really never think about death. To me, I think we are so close to the end of time that I believe that
There's not going to be one?
I really don't.
Yeah.
But I guess, you know, as you get older, perspective changes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what your definition of success changes. And, when I was 20, 21 years old, 19, when my family got into this, I had goals back then that are totally different than my goals
Right.
today.
Yeah, as we all do.
And a lot of that too has just come from a closer relationship with the Lord. This past year, I think it's the third time that I've read the Bible all the way through, and I really paid a lot more attention to things this year than what I have in the past.
Yeah.
And I got a lot more out of Paul, and believe it or not, I got a lot out of the book of Revelation. I've never really, once I got to Revelation, I just would just zip through it because it's such a hard book to understand. But there's one thing that I took from Revelation this year, and that is there is worship going on in heaven 24/7. There is praise, there is celebration, there is a party. And John said that when we worship, when we celebrate down here, that we're just taking part in what's going on in heaven. They're singing that song, worthy is the Lamb, holy is the Lamb. And my thing would be, I want people to know that I love my wife, that I know sometimes she doesn't think it, and I know sometimes that I don't necessarily maybe sometimes show it, but she's the most important person to me. You talk about a support system. I mean, she is, for when Tripp was diagnosed with autism, we at that point were traveling 275, 300 days a year. Naturally, we pulled and scaled back, but not one time in the 10 years or following that has she ever said, I don't want you to do what you're doing. This is too hard on me, because so many times she was a single parent. And when you're a single parent with a child with special needs in a small town that has nothing to do and nothing available for them, that's very difficult. And so I want people to know that I cherish my wife, that I cherish my family, and that I did everything that I could to tell everybody that I could about Jesus. I saw this on Facebook, and this has kind of become my mantra. I want to make heaven crowded.
That's a good mantra to have.
When I run up to some people in heaven, I want them to be able to say, because of you, I'm here. Whether it be that they accepted Jesus in one of my services, or just something that I said kind of encouraged them to not give up and to not quit. And so I would say that, of course, probably the standard, that I was a great dad, great husband, and that I love Jesus, and I did everything that I could for him.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to write you one right now. You ready? So, here's our friend Billy Walker, who lived his life for Christ, made sure everybody he came in contact with knew what he stood for and who they needed. He wasn't always easy.
Yeah, that one right.
That's all of us. I'm not just picking on you. It wasn't always easy, but he was a devoted husband who loved his wife, a great father who encouraged his son, a great son who was always there for his mom. And now he's in heaven, and he heard the words, well done. Now go over there and see all those folks that are here because of you.
Yeah.
So there you
This
go.
is recorded.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write that down, because that's good.
There you go.
That's good.
All right. Thank you so much for coming by.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for having
so
me.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right. Now I'm going to go see the most important part of your family, which is your wife.
They're out in the RV, but I can come back.
No. I'll see them. So, bye, guys. Tune back. Oh, let's see what somebody said real quick. Thanks, Tanya and Billy. Ask Billy how he handles when he messes up during a concert.
I don't mess up.
You got that? When are you singing? Again.
I'll forget 7 words of the 10 that I sing. Hey, if I forget my words, this is the big trick right here. You just put your head down and go. And people are like, bless him, Jesus, bless him.
Yeah.
And then hopefully by that time the words have come back to you.
They think you're crying, and
That's
you're
it.
like, what is the words? What is the words?
Give me the words.
Give me the words, Father. Oh, gosh, I've been there many a time. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Awesome, Billy.